So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Retired Living True series. My name's Brett Janelle, and I'm going to be your meeting host today. And today we're going to take a tour, a virtual tour, with the team at Cascades of the Sierra. And for those who don't know, Cascades of the Sierra is an independent living, assisted living, and memory care community. And today's tour will take roughly about 40 minutes. And then after the tour, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, and then we'll end the meeting around just before probably 11 a.m., depending on how many questions we have. And just before I introduce our tour host, just like you to keep a couple of things in mind as we go through and do this tour. Firstly, we want you to realize how different each community is. We have lots of wonderful communities here within the area, and they're all very unique in their own ways. So kind of look for the uniqueness, especially if you're on one of the past tours. And then with that, each community has different amenities and different levels of care, and we've talked about that at past Truth Series seminars, and that'll come out today, because as I mentioned, Cascades of the Sierra is an independent living, assisted living, and memory care community all under one roof, and we'll learn more about that. And then also, as we go through on the tour, keep in mind that while today we're all active and healthy, and hopefully that'll always be the case, sometimes, as we know, life can change. So we feel it's very important, and that's part of why we do the Truth Series, that you know what options are available. And I'm sure you'll all agree, we all make much better choices when we're healthy versus trying to make decisions in crisis mode. So let me just go ahead and introduce you to our wonderful tour guide today. So with me, I have Shemaine Fine, and Shemaine is the Community Relations Director at Cascades of the Sierra. And let's turn it over to Shemaine and learn more about her wonderful community. Over to you, Shemaine.
All right, Brett, thank you so much. So I want to just thank everyone for being here today. I will ask, as we take you on this virtual tour, just jot down any questions. And at the end, we will be more than happy to answer those for you. So I am going to go ahead and share our presentation screen here. And how does that look, Brett?
Need to be in presentation mode. We're looking at your slides.
Oh, excellent. Let's see. Let's try that again. See, I apologize.
No need to apologize. I have this challenge every time I do a webinar. Where's that button I need to click? I'm sure our attendees can relate as well.
Excellent.
We're all learning together. That looks fantastic.
Wonderful. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to welcome everyone to our virtual tour. And to begin, I would like you to meet our Executive Director, Mr. Jim Cox.
Well, hi, my name is Jim Cox, and I am the Executive Director for Cascades of the Sierra out here in Spanish Springs, Nevada, just north of Sparks. And I'm happy to welcome you to our virtual tour of our beautiful community. We are the largest provider of senior living services in Northern Nevada. Our home here is about 250 apartments, and we provide independent, assisted, and memory care services, and have done so for the last 11 years proudly. And really having a good time. Obviously, these are challenging times for everybody. We are socially distanced for this recording. We are all wearing masks and being a part of doing our part to promote a healthy environment and a safe environment, and really trying to bring back all of our amenities as the state allows us to do so, and provide great senior living services. I've been in the industry just about 20 years, and love working with seniors. Very supportive of our local services as well as supportive services, and just having a good time and doing what we can to provide senior living services. We're going to take you on a tour of our beautiful community. You're going to meet wonderful people along the way. and have a lot of fun. And at the end, I'll circle back and answer whatever questions I can do for you. I hope you enjoyed my piano playing, and we will continue on. I'd like to introduce to you our Associate Executive Director, Miss Molly Ratfield.
Yes, we're going to meet Molly, but first, we would like to take you on a wonderful virtual tour recording of our community. You can also find this on the website, actually. So here we go. Well, thank you for that tour of our beautiful community. I know some of you are calling in. You can see that video at cascadesofthesierra.com if you'd like. And now I'd love to introduce Molly, and she is our Exceptional Associate Executive Director.
Hi, I'm Molly Ratfield, and I have the privilege of being employee number 001 at Cascades of the Sierra. I came on about a year and a half before the building opened and got to work with the owners on picking out all of the names and building the building, and truly getting to take a piece of the creation of it all. So I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about how do I know which is the right level for my loved one. And in our community, we have independent living, assisted living, and secured memory care. In independent living, you need to think about the safety and security of your loved one. It's like being in an independent apartment all by yourself. We do offer meals and we do make sure that everybody's okay once a day, but on an overall balance, independent living is independent and they need to be able to take care of themselves. As we progress through our community and we get to assisted living, those residents get a little bit of help from our wellness team. They may need some assistance with their medications. They may need some assistance with taking a shower or getting dressed, or maybe making sure that they get to and from their medications or to the activities in the community. Overall, those residents are in their rooms and they're still in an apartment behind a shut door. So those residents need to be safe at that level, where someone's not necessarily directly supervising them throughout the day, but providing them a little oversight and checking in every couple of hours. As we progress through our community and we get to our secured memory care, it's a little bit more like a home-like setting. We have bedrooms and private bathrooms, and we have shared common space living. In our memory care though, our residents, because they're in bedroom type settings, get a little bit more direct supervision. Somebody's looking as they're walking past an open door in the hallway. Those residents may be needing a little bit more assistance. They may sit in a room with the light off unless somebody else has turned it on. They may need some assistance making sure that they ate, or maybe even needing prompting throughout the meal to make sure it continues to happen. Those residents may get lost if they were outside of their secured area. Now I'd like to introduce my wellness team. I have 2 registered nurses that oversee various portions of our building. Marie House is a registered nurse who's our wellness director in our assisted living. And Trudy Italiano is a registered nurse who oversees our secured memory care program.
And here is Nurse Marie.
Hello, my name's Marie House. I'm an RN here at Cascades of the Sierra. I'm the wellness director for assisted living. I've been here for just about 7 years. I'm a nurse for 26 years. And my specialty has been anything from infants, newborns, to geriatrics. Myself and my team here at Cascades are the ones in charge of taking care of the day-to-day activities of the residents. That can include anything from meals to dressing, bathing, or just getting them to activities and providing social interaction. We start the move-in process with an assessment with the individual. From that assessment, we develop your customized service plan. The goal of that service plan is to provide the resident with the most independence possible and to maintain that independence through the course of their disease process. Our wellness team, together with the other departments at Cascades of the Sierra, will all work together to create a warm, loving home for each and every resident. Now I'm pleased to introduce you to our memory care director, Trudy Italiano.
Love that smile. And here is Trudy.
I'm Trudy Italiano. I'm an RN and the memory care director at Cascades. I love being here. I recently was a hospice nurse and had happened to come here for one of my patients, and when the opportunity arose to actually come and work here, there was no way I was going to turn it down, because this facility is completely different from any of the other places that I've been to. I've always wanted to work with older adults since I became a nurse. I started working in a dedicated dementia facility, and I've also worked in GI, and I was a community health nurse doing home visits and case management, running programs throughout Washoe County. I absolutely love advocating for seniors. I always fall in love with them. It really, it just brings a lot to my life to be able to serve people, often in the most difficult times, because I think a lot of people don't really realize how hard dementia is, not just on the person that has it, but on the entire family, and that every step of the progression and the transitions that are associated with that is incredibly challenging for the family. So I really love that at Cascades we develop and implement individualized care plans for each resident, and provide teaching to the staff if we need to about special problems or challenges in care. I love that our dining room is really homey and that we have family meal together. And I really think that that helps the residents feel like they're home and not just in a hospital. I truly am honored to be the memory care director at Cascades. I feel like it's a culmination of all of the different nursing challenges that I've had. One of the things that I really love here is the integrative care. We really work with the whole team to make sure that every resident's needs are met. And one of those things is our agility physical therapy and occupational therapy. And you're going to get to meet Anishan from Agility. They do a great job working with the residents in all kinds of special cares, strengthening, balance, helping people eat, and just get the most out of every day.
Well, that was Trudy, and her passion truly does show through. And we're fortunate to have her as our wellness director in our memory care. And now I'd like to introduce you to Anishan Hall and Jimmy Sun with Agility.
My name is Anishan Hall. I'm the director of Agility Physical Therapy here at Cascades. We are in-house support services for individuals who need assistance. I'm one of the occupational therapists here and also the rehab director here. I have a team buddy. There's a few of us that are around, but we pretty much act as a team, so there's no hierarchy here. With the focus of making sure that we provide the best service for you in order to maintain the highest functional level and actually go beyond the expectations of what you'll find out in the regular community with other services. So we try to surpass that in order to make sure that we meet your goal.
I'm Jimmy. I'm a physical therapist here at the Cascades, and we just offer outpatient services for the residents, so it makes it really convenient for you guys to have therapy here instead of having to drive all about and do that kind of thing. And so we're here to help you guys make it really convenient. We just help people who often are falling a lot or having weakness in their legs or arms and stuff like that. And we'd love to work with you guys. We love the community here, and we just love spending time with the residents here.
As far as diagnoses that we work with Parkinson's, stroke, any type of neurological, muscular dystrophy. If you've had an accident and there's hip replacement or knee replacement or falls, we deal with everything. So it's a full service here.
And next we're gonna go ahead and see our dining services, in which they have delicious food, and as you can see by me and my friend here.
Exactly.
All right.
Goodbye.
We really appreciate Anishan and Jimmy being here in our community to help our residents at any time. It's just wonderful. But speaking of the food, I wanted to go ahead and move along and show you some of the wonderful dishes that we get fed here all the time. Um, Absolutely wonderful. These aren't prepped, these were just taken as they came out of the kitchen. So I'm just wondering who's hungry. So with that said, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and see what Jason is up to in the kitchen.
You don't look bad.
Super subtle. So that's a Jason. And right now I'm going to introduce you to Carol Martinelli and Joe Libierski. Oops. There we go.
Hi there. My name is Carol Martinelli. I'm the Director of Dining Services. I am sitting here with my partner in crime, Chef Joseph Libierski. We both have a combined tenure here at Cascades of the Sierra of over 20 years. We love it here. We are a fantastic team. We are able to put our heads together and come up with some great menu ideas. We're open to resident suggestions. Joe excels at events, as I do. My background, and Joe will talk a little bit about his background as well. I owned a restaurant at Lake Tahoe on a golf course. I was the food and beverage director of a very large hotel, resort, casino, spa. I was also the food and beverage director of a ski area. So lots of experience as far as multiple different types of cuisine, eating styles, events. I once did a banquet for former President Gerald Ford. I have done countless movie stars, rock stars, all that kind of good stuff. So we really have a good time, Joe and I, when we get to do events here at Cascades of the Sierra. Our buffets, our family events, our private dining room events, and this is what we're sitting in right now is one of our private dining rooms we excel at. We're also well known within the industry in the Reno area as far as throwing the best party in town. We have a full bar, which we are able to provide great monthly cocktails, micro beers. We have a decent wine list and great prices. So Joe, you talk a little bit about your background.
As Carol mentioned, I've been in the business for about 35 years. Spent about a dozen of them with the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, where I headed as a sous chef the Mexican restaurant Diego at the time. I've been a food and beverage manager of a local hotel, worked as an executive chef for a drug and alcohol rehab facility, and I have been at the Cascades of the Sierra for 10 years.
Okay, so Joe, we need to invite everybody here, right?
Yes, we do.
We need for people to come in here and see what a wonderful job we do and how fantastic the food is.
How good the team.
And how good the team is. You know what I didn't mention is that we have an herb garden that we pick herbs from, fresh herbs from, and utilize the fresh herbs instead of salt and sodium.
Right.
And one year we even made our own salt-free, herb-based seasoning that we put out on the tables.
Yes.
Might try to do that when the garden goes away in a couple of weeks, which will be sad. But please come be our guests. Let us show you what Cascade of the Sierra's hospitality is all about and how proud we are of our culinary department.
Have a meal on us.
Yeah, have a meal on us. We'll pick up the check and I make a mean martini. So come in and get a martini too, or a glass of wine. Now it's time to turn the conversation over to my good friend Natalie Hilbert, who is the Director of Fitness and Life Enrichment. Thank you.
That was Carol and Joe, and I love this quote. One cannot think well, love well, or sleep well if one has not dined well. And Carol and Joe keep us all extremely well here in our community. So we thank them so much for that. And now I'd like you to meet Natalie.
2020 has been a year of adaptation for our programs here at Cascades. While what this looks like is much different than what we used to do, keeping our residents engaged remains our focus. Our life enrichment programs are based upon the residents' needs and preferences and support the 6 domains of wellness: intellectual, physical, social, emotional, spiritual, and vocational. Some of the EverFit activities we have available are individualized fitness training, use of our new step machines, treadmill, bike, and state-of-the-art Kaiser equipment. We also have a swimming pool that we look forward to opening soon. Our Life Enrichment program offers small group activities that meet the 6 wellness domains while offering the guidelines set forth to keep our residents safe. We also assist with online ordering, prescription pickups, transportation to essential doctor visits, and doctor video chats. Most importantly is connecting our residents with their family members via Zoom or FaceTime. If you have any questions about our Creative Climate Life Enrichment program, please feel free to reach out to one of our Community Relations Director or me. And now I would like to introduce you to our Plant Operations Director, Dave Hodges.
I want to send a huge thank you up to Natalie. And I do want folks to know that Natalie is also known as the Bird Lady. Now, since the pandemic, the birds have not been able to be in the community. So it was very important to her that they were filmed and that people know they are still doing great. And hopefully soon she will be able to bring them back, and she actually does tours and takes them to other places as well. So we appreciate Natalie and the way she cares for our residents and keeps us all just doing great. So now I want to introduce you to Dave Hodges.
Okay, my name is Dave Hodges. I'm the Director of Plant Operation Environmental Services, which basically means if it's broke or it's dirty, call me. I'm the guy that'll take care of it. We have a work order system here that works very well, and we love to take care of our residents. My background is I have a bachelor's degree in economics, a master's degree from Duke University, and an honors degree from the Academia Economici v Cracovia. I have worked in building and maintaining and managing factories for the last 40 years. I came to work for Jim about 4 years ago. I love working here and I love the people that work for me. Now we also handle not only housekeeping, but porters who keep the halls and everything clean, and also clean the carpets, and we also handle the laundry service. So, as I said, if it's dirty or broken, call us, we'll take care of it. Now I'd like to introduce you to Mark Regan. He's our Director of Sales and Marketing.
Just a huge shout out to Dave and his entire team. Our community truly is beautiful, and that is thanks to them. So thank you, Dave. Now let's see what Mark's up to.
So John, you really like Westerns, huh? Is that your favorite? Oh, hi folks. Hi, I'm Mark Regan. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Cascades of the Sierra. And I was just talking to one of my residents. Let me just show you our Sundance Cinema. It seats 48, and typically we have matinees and movies at night. We allow families to use this with their, home movies and have a little party. We also have guest speakers come in, like from the Historical Society. And as part of our activities here on site, we'll utilize this space as well. What I'd like to do now is kind of take you upstairs to one of our models. And if you can just follow me. We'll head upstairs, and one thing I just want to share with you is that, we're a little over 11 years old, and the property looks just like it was 11 years ago. It takes a lot of work and effort. Last year we did a lot of major work on the outside, painting the building, painting inside, new carpeting, and actually all new LED lighting throughout the whole building, the apartments, everywhere. So we're real excited about that. Obviously our residents are pleased with it as well. Okay, so we'll head upstairs. Another thing I want to share with you is some of the basics to our pricing, our apartments. We have 6 different floor plans in our 1 bedrooms here, and they range from about 650 square feet to 850 square feet. Pricing, they're about $4,000 to $5,000 in that range for those. Our 2 bedrooms range from about 950 square feet to about 1,150. And the price range there is from about $5,000 to $6,000, okay? What I've got around the corner here is our 1 bedroom model. It's our Santa Anita. It's 650 square feet. And why don't you kind of come on in and we'll take a look at it. So you can see here you've got a full kitchen, okay, plenty of room to kind of do your own thing. Obviously your living area, closet space you'll find is very good here. You've got your bedroom in here with a walk-in closet that you'll see in just a moment. And then last but not least, let me just show you the bathroom. Shower is obviously easy to get in and out of. And then on the other side, you have your stacking washer and dryer. And then a good size overall bathroom. Just to touch on some of the basics here with independent living, included in your rent are 2 meals a day. And there's flexible, you can have whatever you want, whether you want to do breakfast and lunch and dinner, you can change it up. Some of our residents who are light eaters, actually the rent covers all of their meals. We also come in weekly and clean. Things that you don't really probably want to do these days, we handle that for you. And the small thing, we'll actually strip your bed, put on your new sheets, and get your other sheets started in the washer. So that you've got a good start on that. All your utilities are included. Transportation, as Natalie might have spoke of, we've got a great transportation program, get you to the doctors and all of that. Lots of activities, which I'm sure Natalie told you about as well. So all of that is included in your rent. And I think that's about it.
Right, we want to thank Mark. Mark Regan is our Director of Sales and Marketing. And then myself, Lori, and Melissa complete the Cascades Customer Relations team. So finally, what we're going to do is we're going to show you our assisted living apartment.
Well, hey there. I'm Shemaine Renee Fine, and I am the Customer Relations Director for Cascades of the Sierra, and I am so happy to welcome you here today. Right now, I am in one of our assisted living apartments, and as you can see, our assisted living apartments are exactly like our independent apartments, with one exception, and that is it doesn't have a full kitchen. This is our kitchenette. So there's basically a refrigerator and a microwave, and of course plenty of cabinet space. Our assisted living apartments range from studios, 1 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms. Our studios start at 379 square feet. That's the one we're in right now. And they begin at $4,200. Our 1 bedrooms range from 473 to 656 square feet, and that range is $4,500 to $6,100. And our 2 bedrooms are 872 square feet, and they begin at $7,100. Now, I would like to add that in assisted living, you get 3 full meals. All of your laundry is done for you, and of course you have the 24-hour supervision that is needed based on the care level of your resident or your loved one. And as Nurse Marie discussed, those care levels are customized to each individual resident. So I would love, hopefully we can do inside tours soon. We would love to have you. We'd love to see you. You can get in touch with me or Mark or Lori, and we would love to show you our beautiful community. I'll see you soon.
Well, and that just about concludes our virtual tour of our community. I hope you enjoyed meeting our staff. We all have a wonderful time here. And now at this time, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Brett so that questions can be answered by Jim and Mark.
Great. Thank you so much, Shemaine. What a great tour. I like that idea of martinis and meal, and yeah, very neat. And I look forward to meeting John Wayne there. Very neat, Mark. So just before we open it up for questions, what I'd like to do is just put up a quick poll. Should you have further questions or like to have an in-person tour? So let me just do that, and then we'll jump to questions. So you should have a poll on your screen. First question is, would you like to schedule an in-person tour of Cascades of the Sierra? And if you say yes, then Shemaine, Mark, one of the team will reach out to you and organize that and get that on the schedule. And then secondly, if you would have additional questions that don't get answered during the Q&A or have personal specific questions, just say yes to question 2, and again, one of the team will reach out to you on that. And then thirdly, if you'd like to be part of our upcoming webinar on the truth about who should be on your team on November the 17th, you can mark that and we'll get you registered for that event. And then we have a couple of other events, tours coming up, one on November the 5th with Revel Ranchera, and then one on December the 3rd with Morning Star. So if you would like to participate in any of those, just mark that appropriately, and I'll just leave that up for a moment. And let me just unmute everybody, and let's take questions. So I'll scroll to unmute. So yeah, if you have a question, just unmute yourself. You have the ability to do that, and then go ahead and ask Jim or Mark your question.
Looks like they're still muted, Brett.
Okay, that would make it hard to ask a question, wouldn't it? Thank you, Jim. Let me put my glasses on and dig down deeper here why people can't unmute themselves. Allow participant. Oh, there we go. Allow everyone to unmute themselves. That would help. Now you should be able to unmute yourself if you have a question. Could someone help me out and unmute themselves just to make sure I've clicked on the right button that you can actually unmute yourself?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Shelley. Yeah. Perfect. Great.
That was a really nice place. Thank you for that tour. That was very nice.
Well, thank you, Shelley.
It's even better in person, Shelley. I've had the opportunity to be there many times, and yeah, it's a fantastic community. So I definitely encourage people to take up the opportunity to do an in-person tour.
Well, it says a lot about a facility when their employees have been there a long time. That means that the staff is happy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's certainly been a being here for 11 years, and it's a tough job, especially right now with COVID and all the limitations and things like that. I certainly am proud of Shemaine and Mark and the team's efforts of their cameos on the presentation and how proud they are of their each and individual departments. It's a good show. Can I answer?
How long is your waiting list?
Currently, we don't have a waiting list. It just depends on if you're needing independent living or assisted living. There's different requirements for. I'm sorry.
Independent.
Independent. Yeah, we don't have a waiting list at this point. We have some opportunities and options that would Mark and Shemaine could present to you, and there's no wait list. That's the good news. We'll come get you today. It's nice. It's Spanish Springs has changed quite a bit. I've been here. I'm coming up on 5 years, and it's changed a lot. Now we have a big Winco coming out here. We've got Save Mart. We've got a number of restaurants. We've got a number of beauty salons. We have our own beauty salon on site. We're excited to get that going very soon here, probably November 1st. It's called PS Salon, and they are actually setting up the salon today, and we hope to open up on November 1 for services again. So I personally don't get my hair done there, but the hair that they will get done is going to be beautiful. Any other questions?
I do, Jim. So what about transportation? If I need to go somewhere, I need to go to a doctor's appointment. I'm not sure if we touched on that.
Sure. So, pre-COVID, we had transportation 7 days a week, and geographically, we would go different places. So if we had to go to South Reno, it'd be on one day. If we were going to Sparks and on another, the VA on another day. And then shopping throughout the week, we have a 14-passenger bus, and then we also have a minivan that is wheelchair accessible. Now with COVID, we have to really kind of compartmentalize and limit what our transportation options are. And so with that, we're doing what are called essential visits to physicians' offices, limiting the amount of people that we have on the bus. So even though we have a nice, big, beautiful, brand new bus that holds 14 people, we're only able to take a few people at a time that are masked up and protected. Our drivers are masked, and we assist you to get your doctor's appointment and so forth. We're not able to do any shopping right now. That's the bad news. The good news is we are, participating in all sorts of deliveries, from grocery stores to family and friends that do the shopping for you. They drop it off at the front door, and we bring them up to your apartment.
Well, I'm assuming that'll all return back to normal once we get past all of this.
Absolutely.
To begin with.
The sooner the better.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you talked about meals, so 2 meals per day, and I assume I choose from a menu. How does that kind of work?
Yep, it's menu driven. We have a 6-week rotation on our menu. So every 6 weeks, for 6 weeks, we have a set amount of menu items that we're gonna run through. And let's take spring, when everything is fresh and vegetables are back and everything's good there. We'll have a set of spring salads and really kind of lighter foods, versus when we're getting ready for winter as we are now, we turn to a little bit more moderate menu selection. We have daily specials on our menus, and then we have what's called Everdine. Everything that you could ever imagine or want is on those menus. I think we have probably the best menus in town. No offense to my colleagues out there, but we do have a rather large menu. I've got great culinary staff, as you saw with Joe and Carol and Big Jason there doing a nice saute. It's hard. We're cooking. We're putting out about 600 meals a day. Think of that, 600 meals a day. You talk about having folks over for lunch or dinner. That's a lot of food to go through. It's a lot of food to make sure is good. And we make everybody as happy as they can be. Obviously, you may like your vegetables done one way, and Frank likes his done another, and Terry likes hers done another way. So it's kind of hard to make everybody happy. We try and get right in the middle of the road and keep those vegetables as fresh as possible and to everybody's liking. We're very, very amenable to customer service. And if you don't like something, we take it back and we get you something else. And if you want seconds on something, we get you seconds on something. There's no additional hassle with that whatsoever.
Great, thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
And I can attest to the great food because I've eaten with you guys numerous times, and yeah, it's good. And then Mark, you were showing us, the different apartments. I was just curious. I saw washers and dryers. Was that also in assisted living? I think Shemaine was showing us. Do we have washers and dryers? Will someone do my washing? And what about like cleaning? How does that kind of work?
Yep, in every apartment, whether it's independent living or assisted living, we come in weekly and clean the apartment. As I mentioned, we'll change the linens on the bed because that can be difficult at times. In the independent living, we have the full kitchens and washer and dryer because it is independent living, and residents like to do those things on their own. In assisted living, the smaller kind of a kitchenette, because all of your meals are provided, all 3 meals a day are provided in assisted living, and that's part of your rent. We can do, as part of the care plan, we probably end up doing most residents laundry in assisted living, so that they don't have to bother with that as well.
Thank you.
Are those furnished apartments, or do we bring our own furniture in?
You bring your own furniture in, and so that way you can kind of take the chairs and the different things that you treasure and want to hold on to, you can move right in.
Great question. Who else has a question? Now's the great time to get your questions answered. So what about pets? If I have a pet, am I able to bring my pet with me?
No snakes, no tarantulas, no bats. Dogs and cats are good. Pretty much we keep it to dogs that are under 35 pounds if we can. Big dogs and seniors don't mix well together. And we want to keep everybody vertical and doing well. Cats are no problem. We have had some birds in the past, so if you're a bird lover, we actually have quite a bit of wildlife in and around our community, with all sorts of birds and other animals that come and visit us throughout the day and night. But yeah, you can have animals here for sure. There's a one-time pet deposit. We want to make sure that the animals are up to date on all their shots and that they're healthy animals and able to be cared for.
So what I'm gathering from what you've said and what I know is basically everything's included. I get rid of all my home maintenance, I get rid of insurance, all of those things are included in my rent price. My meals, the housekeeping, activities.
That's the nice thing. It's not, we get lumped in to the old folks home or that place around the corner, and really it is a home. It's a community. That's why we don't call it a facility. We call it a community. We want people to be together. We want, your mail is delivered. You have an individual mailbox. You have your own apartment. We don't call it a room. It's your apartment. It has a bathroom. It has a shower. As Mark pointed out, you have your full kitchen and bathrooms and so forth. We train our staff to protect your dignity and independence. We want to make sure that they're respectful of your privacy. And yeah, you don't have to worry about mowing the lawn or shoveling the sidewalk as we're coming up on winter. You don't have to worry about shopping. You don't have to worry about paying for water and sewer and all that nonsense. Everything is all under one roof, and it's really a nice way to go. Pre-COVID, again, it was almost like a party on a cruise ship, a land-based cruise ship, where we had multiple dining rooms, a full bar. We have a pool, we have outdoor putting greens, we had entertainers and speakers and lecturers and things like that. and we cannot wait to get back to that. In the meantime, we're doing all sorts of Zoom meetings like this. We are providing as much activity and engagement as we can, while maintaining a socially safe distance, while maintaining good infection control, while maintaining and trying to keep everybody healthy and alive.
So I see Catherine has her hand up. Catherine, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. I think I missed at the beginning. It sounds like you guys have been in operation 11 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And who are you owned by?
We're owned by our parent company is Cascade Living Group out of Bothell, Washington. And we have 4 primary owners. That's our management team. Our ownership of the building is KKR out of New York City.
So there are different Cascade properties in other parts of the country?
Yes, ma'am. We have 32 locations in 5 states. We are predominantly a West Coast company. I've worked for the bigger companies. I've worked for 5-star, worked for Classic Residence by Hyatt. And we are West Coast, so we're in Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and Arizona. We have three locations here in Nevada, pretty much right in line with Spanish Springs, Carson City, and Las Vegas.
And so if I were to move into your independent living apartment, what's required? How does that work? Is it month to month? Is there a lease? Is there, what could I expect as far as rate increases and that sort of thing?
Great question. So it is a month to month lease. We do require a 60-day notification when and if you were to transfer to another community of ours or life changes. Not sure about the annual increases as we're navigating through COVID. Historically, they've been anywhere from 4 to 6%. And that covers everything from our insurance changes, obviously workers' comp and food prices have changed for us, the cost of doing business and so forth. So those are, across the board, just about every single community that you look at is going to have some form of an annual increase. We're very upfront about it. We're very transparent about it. I'm not sure if we're going to have one in 2021. I'm hoping not, but I will find out here shortly. As we get ready for our budgets for 2021. There is a community fee that is a one-time fee. So if you move out or you move to another one of our locations, you only have to pay it once. If you want to move back in, you're already covered and don't have to pay it again.
And how much is that?
It depends on what services you require. So for independent living, at this point, it's $3,000. We do have a special going on right now, which I'll let Mark talk about. And so it's discounted at this point. Mark, you want to fill us in on the special that we have?
Sure. Yeah. For independent living, the community fee is reduced by 50%. So it's just $1,500 as a one-time fee. And then as the second part of that promotion is your monthly rent for the first 3 full months is at 50%. So collectively, it's a nice value.
And you showed that one model in the independent living area. And just as an aside, for the independent living, there's parking, I'm assuming?
Yes.
For residents with cars?
Yep. We do have plenty of complimentary parking. And then we do have, for a fee, covered parking. You have the option.
Mm-hmm. And so that apartment that you showed, you mentioned that a range of square footage, 650 to 850, I think you said, 6 floor plan. And you mentioned the one we were seeing, you called it, maybe it was Santa Anita, I'm not sure. But I wasn't clear about which size that was.
Yeah, you're spot on, Catherine. It is our Santa Anita, and it is exactly 656 square feet.
Oh, okay. So that was the smallest one that you offer. It looked quite roomy.
Yep.
And the bedroom area seemed to be a little bit like, yeah, was removed from the main area, obviously. You don't have a studio then, is that correct, in the independent?
Not an independent, correct. We just
Right,
have
okay.
1 and 2 bedrooms. In our
Okay.
assisted living, we have studio, 1 bedroom, and some 2 bedroom.
Right, okay. So yeah, nice size walk-in closet there and storage and so forth. And so the pricing on that, on the 1 bedroom models, I wasn't clear about what that range is.
So that's from, it's, right now, a couple things. In general, our standard pricing is the Santa Anita's at $42.75. And then our largest 1 bedroom, the Verdi, it's a 1 bedroom with a den that's at 858 square feet, is $5,050.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a special right now, in addition to what I already shared, on our Santa Anita. And that is actually, if you're sitting down, Catherine, that right now is at $29.95.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6 of those, and we have that on kind of like an extra special. So anybody that's looking in the next, month or two to maybe make a move and to give it a try at $29.95, and for what you get here, it's very, very good.
Mark, who approved
Go ahead.
I have an email from you, Jim, approving that.
That's a heck of a deal.
And the restaurants, I wasn't clear about the restaurants, and the gal that sat at the table with one of the chefs, don't recall her name, but she was kind of introduced it with that we do great parties and meals and full bars. And I was kind of puzzled about, well, who are these great parties for? Are you and bars? And I don't know, I just was a little puzzled about that.
Yeah.
But then
I'll let Jim handle that.
I wasn't clear about what the different, you said multiple restaurants when everything's open, but I don't have a good sense of what your eating offerings are and how that works. Is it a certain time of day that people can eat their meals, or is it restricted hours, or just some more information about the whole that.
Great feedback there, Catherine. Thank you. Yeah, so I love Carol and Joe, and they're always in the party mood. And unfortunately, since early on, we were one of the first communities to really enforce the regulatory compliance from the CDC and state of Nevada to keep our residents healthy and our staff healthy. So we haven't had any parties, sadly. We have had. And Shemaine and Mark have done a great job in assisting the culinary team with our party cart, which was, a couple times a week where we're going door to door with adult beverages and snacks and waters and sodas, whatever would make somebody smile. Some of those carts had lights and music on them, but we have not had any, congruent parties in quite some time, and we throw a great party, and we do have a full service bar that I've been on both sides of the bar and enjoyed both sides quite well. So that's part of that. And I'm sorry, your other questions were with regards to the dining times, I think.
So times and what choices as far as where would I choose to eat, say a lunch or a dinner.
We were just approved by the state of Nevada to reopen our dining room. We have been doing apartment deliveries, just like if you call out for Chinese delivery and it comes to your
right
door. We've been doing that for the last 8 months. So you can imagine 600 meals a day. Delivery has been quite an undertaking. And let's be frank, deliveries aren't, it's fun once in a while. It's fun when you don't feel like cooking, but there's times where you want to sit in the restaurant or sit at home and have that nice meal. We're always concerned about food safety. We're always concerned about food temperatures. We have hot carts that we roll down the hall and dedicated staff to make sure that as soon as it's plated up, it's put in a temperature driven container, and we get them to your apartment as soon as possible. Today's world's a lot different, and we're having to now, I don't know if you've been out to dinner since the restrictions have been lifted locally, but the restaurant, and being in the restaurant business, the idea is to turn that table as quickly as possible, right? Now we're at 50% capacity. We have to be 6 feet apart. You have to wear your mask into the dining room, then you remove it and enjoy your meal. And then as you exit, we want to keep everybody safe, and we ask that you put your mask back on. So we have 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are set times. We're looking at changing that in the very near future. We want what is considered all-day dining, which means that, and we do have that in retrospect during most times. Like if you call down, hey, I missed breakfast, could I get something sent up? We're going to take care of you. We don't want you to go hungry. But we do try and sort of control the environment a little bit, because it is so hard to feed that many people on a daily basis. Does that answer your question?
I mostly. And so is there one restaurant? Is that what you're saying? Because I thought I heard somebody say something about a buffet, but then there was a restaurant mentioned, so I was unclear about that.
Yeah, thank you. So again, I hate to say this, pre-COVID, we had our fireside lounge where you could come in for an adult beverage and order an appetizer, a small plate, if you will. So we call that one of our restaurants. We have our independent living side and our assisted living restaurant. So those are 2 separate entities. We cook in one moderately sized kitchen and send meals out from both sides. So it's a centrally located kitchen feeding 2 dining rooms, and then our memory care has our 3rd dining room.
Okay, I got that. And I had a question about what's included. You have certainly mentioned the housekeeping and some other thing, the activities and things. You haven't mentioned, I didn't hear anybody say anything about cable, Wi-Fi, internet.
Yeah, Catherine, it's almost better to say what's not included. And typically your own, if you want a landline or obviously your cell phone, that would be on you. And then if you want premium cable, if you want to be able to get HBO and all of that additional $20 a month or whatever would be on you. But the regular cable, internet, Wi-Fi is all included. The weekly cleaning, the 2 meals a day in independent living, activities galore, the transportation, all of that is part of your rent.
I see. Okay. All right. I think those are all my questions I had, and thank you so much for the time. It was a great tour and got a good view of the property.
Great questions.
Oh, good. Thank you, Catherine.
I just realized I was muted. So thank you so much, Catherine. They were great questions. I just wanted to jump over before we wrap up to Bev. She's had her hand up for quite a while. Did you have a question, Bev? Let me just make sure you're unmuted. Or did you just have your hand up perhaps from earlier? If you do have a question, Bev, you just need to unmute yourself and then just go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, sorry, I was in the kitchen. I just wanted to know if the pool is open right now.
Sadly, it is not. We are in a little bit of a dispute with a repair company.
Oh.
We started, I think, end of July to have a repair done where we had to drain the swimming pool. They were to come in and repair it, resurface it, reestablish the beautiful lines on the bottom of the pool. And I don't know if the gentleman who painted it had a little challenge getting a straight line, but the lines aren't straight, and we can't get the lines straight, and so we've been battling them. We hope to have it. Every day I walk in, I get mad because it's not fixed yet. So I'm hoping to have that done here pretty quickly. It's a beautiful pool when it's up and running. Yeah, that's where we're at with the pool. My apologies.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna fill it in or open a greenhouse if it doesn't get fixed here soon.
A solarium.
Stellarium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Bev. I apologize, we've ran over by a few minutes, but I would just encourage everybody, if you would like to learn more, to reach out to Shemaine, Mark, Jim, and I'd really encourage you to take a tour, because while the virtual tour is great, it doesn't do justice to the beautiful community that they have there. So just on behalf of everybody, I would just like to thank Shemaine, Mark, and Jim, and all of the team there at Cascades of the Sierra for putting this together today and sharing their beautiful community with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thank
Brett,
you.
thank you.
See you next
Thanks,
time.
everybody.
Thanks, Brett.
Hmm.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Nice to meet you.